Now we can always steal Mom's charger again.
Yeah. There it is. Share to Facebook. Share to tweet.
Oh, Twitter.
Yep. And share to the koi pond.
Koi pond.
Mm-hmm. Special server just for people who watch my streams and stuff.
Oh, what should I be?
Do you want your own nickname now?
What?
You've got Shreya and you got Sis.
So yeah, Shreya the Slayer is my name. I don't know.
Well, think about it.
You're gonna have to help me decide. Okay, but yeah, I didn't know you even had one. Like, it's just, I do know one, like, streamer. Do you remember Zebra?
Yes.
Well, he calls the people, his viewers, Zebra Herd.
Yeah, see? Kind of like that.
Yeah, I just didn't know you had one as well.
Oh, yeah. Mine's the koi pond. Because they're all swimming around following me.
So then what should I be?
The Slayers.
I actually like that. I actually really like that.
I'm waiting. We're live.
So you didn't give me the thumbs up.
I thought I did.
No, you didn't.
Ooh, hello, Sasora.
Sora, it's just on time, too. So yeah, hello everyone. Welcome back to some more Ace Attorney. Means right. I said that backwards. But yes, today should hopefully be the climax of this entire game. My god, this is the longest game we have ever played. We're on like what, 40 something now?
We're on part finale.
Yeah, but like what number episode?
Let me see if I go to... The last one was... I don't know. Let me swap to your account real quick here. The last one was 45. So 46 parts.
Oh
and
my
the Ace
god!
Ace
See what I mean, guys? We usually get up to like 20 something. But no, we're up to 46 now.
Well, that's because it's 3 games in 1.
Yeah, I know, so is Spyro.
That is true.
So is Spyro, that wasn't near as long.
But here, let me find your playlist. So, it is 11 parts in the first game. 16 parts for the second game. And 18 parts for the third game.
See what I mean? See what I mean? Although that game was relatively easy. Because I do suppose it was made for, like, kids.
Spyro? Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But it also kind of helped that, you know, it's a game I played in my childhood.
Exactly.
So I kind of remember where everything is.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, what happened last time? Last time we were just I hate my tongue. I hate it. I really do. Anyway. So, yeah, we were just about to start the trial up again from recess. And this is supposed to be the final boss battle, so.
Well, we can't get any help from anyone, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But little do they know that Mia can't help us, Maya can't help us, Pearl can't help us, but we've got Sora on our side.
Sora, yes. We don't need any of the girls. We got Sora, the best defense assistant we've ever had.
We don't need any of the girls because we got Sora.
Yeah. So yes, whenever you're ready, come take it away.
February 10th, 3:36 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. Aw, I'm flattered, says Sora.
Now, before we proceed any further, I need to go get a coffee cup.
Yeah, what do you want?
Chaos! Lips are sealed, though. Have fun. Just you and me, huh?
Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the test we had performed earlier.
Oh, yeah, the blood test. How's the weather over there? How have the kids been lately?
If by the kids you mean the cats?
Puberty? Tests?
Yes, tests. On the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree.
Oh, yeah, that. I totally forgot about it. Yes, the kittens.
They're not exactly kids anymore. Well, Dallas still is, though. She's only 6.5 months old. She's getting close to being a year old. They're doing so fast.
That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim.
So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or...?
Due to time constraints, a full test was impossible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty.
It belongs to a Fae. He's gonna say that it's a Fae's blood. Everything is a kitten compared to Venom.
What?
Everything is a kitten compared to Venom. Venom's an old man.
Oh.
The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood.
Oh.
That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial.
So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Then whose was it? Found stuck in a pine tree in the inner temple garden. The blood doesn't match the victim's.
I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence for their claims.
Yes, that and he's gigantic. Venom.
So yeah, well, you obviously haven't met our grandmother's cat, Waldo.
Oh no, Venom's bigger than Waldo.
Wait, what?
Venom is bigger than Waldo.
How is he bigger than Waldo?
Venom is massive.
How is he bigger than Waldo? Waldo's like a panther.
Right? I understand, Your Honor.
From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking. So, let's finish this quickly.
Agreed.
Very well. Please bring in the last witness.
This is gonna be odd.
Witness, please tell us your name and profession.
My fate. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright and Company Law Offices. Let's just say
Maya.
that. Let's just say that.
Right? According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Korean channeling technique.
I'm frightened. The Fae Clan. I don't want more to do with it.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Like, this is the second time that she's been framed and almost murdered.
Not to mention her mother.
Oh, Maya. The pain the Fae bloodline causes must be unbearable.
Very well. Now then, Miss Faye. When the event occurred, you were in the Garden of the Inner Temple, and you witnessed the moment of Miss Elise Stonham's murder. Is this correct?
I didn't say.
Straighten up this instant, young lady.
Huh?
Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later.
But
Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact.
Wow. Godot, you don't have tact.
you have no people.
But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out, and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen? Witness, if you please.
Yes, Your Honor.
At the Inner Temple.
I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against a stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me! Help me!" Then something warm splashed all over me. That's when I lost consciousness.
So you were struck on the head. I suppose it must have been the staff.
Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Nick. I just couldn't see. I don't know who it was.
Maya, think hard.
Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't.
Ha. Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination.
Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all.
Well, think how long she's been spirited.
Right? Who else was on the Inner Temple side that night?
Well, Sister Bikini, of course. But I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well.
On the day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later like she said? She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired.
No. No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training.
Who did it? Who hit you?
Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind.
You didn't see the person? But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was?
Oh, let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember.
Maya's really having a hard time. What should I do?
Don't we always?
Come on, Maya. This isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person?
Well, let me think. It was, oh yeah, that's right. It was dark, that's it.
It was dark?
It's not good to have too much light around when someone is undergoing spiritual training.
Come to think of it, there was earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden on the night of the crime.
Which is why she didn't see her attacker. Thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not.
Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely...
The spirit that was channeled by Elise Donim, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Very well, please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head?
What happened afterwards?
My attacker was in front of me, blocking my only escape. Blocking out my escape, I think.
I think... You think?
After getting hit like that I was in a state of panic. There were only two things going around my mind at the time.
I can just imagine if they missed and they hit her top button, it would just kind of like go boing and like bounce off.
Well now, this is beginning to get interesting.
So what were the two things rolling around in your mind?
My name is Maya Prey. 1 plus 1 equals 2, what? You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory. I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was.
Oh, okay. That explains that.
That's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. So, what did you do then?
You think you screamed, but you're not sure.
Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Wasn't a man, a woman, an adult, a child?
Pearl finally got her revenge.
I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits.
Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes.
I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that was my last hope.
Wow, it sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do I do? Do I press her for more details? Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff?
What? What do you mean by your last hope?
No. That's what you said. You said my last hope.
Huh? What? I said what? Does she have amnesia now?
Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see, and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me."
Yeah.
But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope.
Oh, well, you know, That's like, what do you call it when it happens?
Maya's not doing so well up there.
Oh yeah, oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at.
What did you just say?
Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at.
Someone else witnessed it.
Someone else. That's who I was screaming for help. For help. Ah!
What is it now?
I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out.
Huh?
Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person?
Well, I am. Well, I meant to keep that part secret. What was I telling?
Ha. It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say. The only other thing I always say is,
A ton of pressure.
you're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony.
I could see a man behind my attacker. By the light of the stone lantern.
A man? Who was this man?
Well, you see, I couldn't see.
You couldn't see? She's used this excuse twice now.
Well, you know, lantern light isn't very bright.
Lantern light, did you say?
There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. They always light it when an acolyte is there for training. Say, hey, do you know what they say? Under the lantern. Under the lantern. Why can I not say lantern? I can't say lantern for some reason. Under the lantern, darkness reigns. So I could see the person that was further away, but not my attacker. She was closer.
Damn it, I thought that was the contradiction. I thought we had to point out, hey, how could you see the man behind your attacker but not your attacker? But I know what the contradiction is anyway.
Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time.
You don't mean, was it...
I didn't know what it was at the time. I didn't know it at the time, but...
I was splashed with gravy.
Don't, right? I think it was probably blood.
Is she saying that's when Miss Stonem, who was channeling Dahlia, was stabbed in the back by the killer?
At that moment, I was paralyzed with fear. I was just sitting there in the snow. I'm sure blood got everything around me.
So what happened next?
I don't remember.
How are you saved? You don't even remember that.
No. I haven't got any idea. I really don't know what happened at all.
That's too bad.
Yep, okay. I've worked side by side with Maya for 2 years now. I can tell when she's trying to hide something by how she acts. And right now, I'm absolutely certain she's hiding something.
But what?
Do you know what the contradiction is? So she said she was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room. Someone struck her over the head. She stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. She thinks she screamed, "Help me!" She could see a man behind the attacker from the light of the stone lantern. Then something warm splashed over her, and that's when she lost consciousness. Let's go through the evidence because it has been, a couple days. Attorney's badge, Magatama. A cult magazine featuring Hazakura Temple. The map. The hanging scroll, Misty Faye's images obscured by gravy. The picture of Elise. Iris's hood that was received before the lights out bell. Protects from evil spirits. The weather data. The Shichishido has Iris's fingerprints on it and has Elise's blood on it, but was not the murder weapon. Victim's staff that has a sword inside it. That's what was used to kill the victim. Elise's autopsy. She died between 10 and 11. From loss of blood from a stab in the back, and then she fell 10 feet after the death. Tracks of the snowmobile. The Elise's body. Larry's sketch that was upside down. Crystal sphere that has blood on it. The Karain Master's talisman that was found in the garden of the Inner Temple. The burnt letter that were instructions from Morgan Fay and was opened beforehand. The dagger that does not have Elise's blood on it. The picture of Dusky Bridge after it was burnt. And the stone lantern, a lantern from the Inner Temple garden, was not lit the night of the crime. And that's all the evidence.
Okay, thanks, I need that.
Yep.
I think I see it.
Yeah? So where?
Pass. Again. Evidence. The lantern.
So there was a man standing behind your attacker.
Yeah.
That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Donan. Otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother.
The killer?
Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you?
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
It was her dad or something, wasn't it?
Right? We have no idea what her dad looks like. To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed a huge problem with her testimony.
What do you mean? What problem?
Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission.
Huh? What?
It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night.
No! It's so weird seeing my own lips.
Right? Order in the court. Mr. Godot, explain this. Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe au lait. Cafe au lait? Is that even legal? Mr. Trite's words are the milk, and you are the spoon. You're on it. I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony bard, I'll have you know. You must have noticed it too, Trite. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that.
Sorry, but that's not gonna cut it.
What did you say?
If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony.
Nick.
May I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker, and she quite clearly described him as a man. This is exciting. I'm hungry. Outside's very noisy. I'm overstimulated. Poor Sora. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker.
No!
Order! 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 What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch-black conditions? Objection! Trite, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene.
Objection!
There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot.
Huh?
Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him.
Cover? For the man that killed her mother?
There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is.
Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you.
Huh. You talk a good game, Trite. Let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff.
No, Nick, don't. Please, stop.
Maya's dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth.
All right, Mr. Wright. Time to show us what you've got. Who was this person that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness?
I really don't know.
I only have 2 ideas.
Okay.
I mean, there's only 3 guys in here. Sorry, 4. Forgot Gumshoe.
I only see 3. Okay, now I see 4. Care to share?
I feel, for some reason, so, why would they kill Elise? Either they wanted her dead, or they were trying to protect Maya.
Oh my god, was it a Joe? That would be hilarious. What were you thinking the same thing?
Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes?
Oh, the
What?
goggles!
But how do you propose to show us something like that?
It's easy.
Goggles.
We just need to recreate the conditions of that night.
Conditions?
Uh-huh.
They're
The
probably
goggles that glow in the dark?
Yeah, they probably bright red.
Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off.
Wait for it.
Well, this is... But it can't be. Yeah.
That is very easy to recognize.
That was a nice bit of deduction. Trite.
I had a feeling that he was the killer somehow, but I didn't know how. And I still don't know how, but we've kind of cornered him a little bit now.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to recognize.
Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. But why would he kill?
Maybe you were right. Maybe he was trying to protect Maya. He wasn't able to protect Mia, so maybe he was trying to protect Maya.
Maybe. Maybe he's like, I'm not making the same mistake again.
Yeah, so he tried to protect Maya, but accidentally killed her own mother without even knowing it.
I do.
But accidentally killed her own mother without even knowing it.
Right? Well, because she was
She was
channeling.
Dahlia, yeah.
Yeah. Which would make sense. Because Dahlia wanted to kill Maya. So Godot would walk by, see that Dahlia's about to murder Maya, and kill her.
Order, order, order! Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this?
This is the second prosecutor who's blamed for murder.
Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Huh. Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? If you got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lights?
Well, witness, answer the question.
You're wrong. I never saw that.
Maya!
Why is she trying to protect her? I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man.
Well, if he saved her life, she'd kind of want to protect him.
But at the same time, he killed her mother.
But she was channeling Dahlia at the time.
Still.
So he didn't know he was killing her mother. He thought he was killing Dahlia.
Even though Dahlia's already dead.
I still, like, get the feeling that maybe Godot... Because Godot died. Diego Armando died.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Oh, duh.
What?
He wouldn't even needed to try and protect Maya. Think about it. He saw Dahlia Hawthorne standing in front of him. Godot died. Who killed him?
Oh.
He saw the girl that murdered him sitting right in front of him. Did he?
For a totally different reason.
What?
Witness, Mr. Wright, what the... Objection! Stop your chattering, Your Honor.
So yeah, I still, like... But who? Because Diego died.
Apparently.
And we have seen in this trial that people can channel a dead spirit for a long time.
Apparently.
So is someone channeling Godot?
Do you really think that someone is channeling him?
That would make sense why in 5 years his hair turned completely white. And he died. He flat out died. So how would he be back?
But then who's channeling him?
That's the question.
Obviously not a girl. The only girl
Well, if it's a fae, then it would have to be a girl.
Yeah, but just... Fays are the only one who can channel.
If it's not explained, I'll explain it to you when everything's done, says Sora.
Chattering? If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. All right. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man.
Yes, Your Honor.
Only girls have channeling power. They said this a lot. Yes, and Karain channeling technique is the only one that makes it so that their body physically changes.
Yeah. But who else do we know?
Has anyone checked on Morgan in jail? Hmm?
Morgan has black hair.
Morgan has a thing on top of her head. Her hair definitely could have turned white. But we don't know too many other...
Who else do we know with white hair? Let's just focus on that.
I don't know of anyone else that has white hair. I mean, Miles has silver hair. And Francisca's got like light blue, baby blue hair. Manfred Von Karma has white hair, but he can't channel.
Or can he? I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but...
Pearl's hair doesn't change when she channels. That's true. The hair doesn't change when they channel. Well, Maya's did.
Oh yeah, big time.
But probably what happened was after Maya channeled Dahlia, Dahlia took the bun out of her hair and redid her hair.
Probably.
Because remember, when Maya came back, her hair was all down.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning it would have to be someone who's got short, white hair. The killer.
When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone. All of the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up, too.
That's why all the snow was cleaned up.
Why?
Because there was blood all over it.
Oh. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. Really?
So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No need to apologize. It's as Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man.
How so?
Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
How so?
There's too many unanswered questions.
Yeah, like, oh, this person cleaned up all of this by themselves.
So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right?
Oh, this person did all of this by themselves, so it has to be the guy. What? That makes no sense.
Right.
That makes no sense. So you're saying, like, all guys are really strong? Have you met Hiccup?
Right.
Have you met Hiccup Haddock the Third? That's his full name, by the way.
Of course it is.
Don't ask. Okay? It was mentioned a lot in, like, the third series. Yeah, Hiccup Haddock the Third. I'm serious, I'm not making this up.
Oh, I know that's his name.
Yes, I think it happened when the victim was stabbed.
So then the person that carried you into the inner temple.
It could only have been the killer.
That's what I think too.
So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
I don't know.
It looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again. The torches were lit.
Yes, that's how I know that the scene had changed.
I'm going to say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be?
The killer probably lit them since it would be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body?
That's true. It's hard to see how that could be, how that would be of any advantage to the killer. And also, if the killer got rid of the body, then that means that the bridge was already burned down, yes?
Yeah.
So shouldn't the killer still have been on that side of the bridge? The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya.
Very well, let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene.
So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It did look really odd. I thought that there was something warm underneath the lantern. The snow was removed in an unnatural-looking rectangular shape around the lantern.
There were a lot of shovels around the temple.
so hungry.
You need to start grabbing a snack before you even come. I told you this. You need to like what do they use? Premeditated?
Premeditated? They
Yeah.
usually use that for murder, Cat.
Yeah, but I mean for us. For watching us.
Are you trying to say he needs to plan ahead?
Yes. Yes.
And you went straight to premeditated? I can't have snacks after dinner, frowny face.
That's who?
Says his parents.
But they're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me.
An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away?
Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victims' blood sprayed onto the snow?
Yeah. The area I collapsed and ended up being splattered.
In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation.
Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount.
That's true. He could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood.
It looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue.
But I think this will help explain them.
So you're saying that you never saw the killer, right?
Yes.
But earlier, you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker.
Nick, I'm sorry.
The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble. Moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. But for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on.
I don't know. Like, I really don't know.
What was the one that Phoenix said he needed more information? Was it this one? The torches were lit. Guess that was noticed the whole scene changed. I'm gonna say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be? Why'd the killer go to the effort of moving the body? That's true. It's hard to see how there would be any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya.
Okay, so not that one.
So it was moved in a natural-looking rectangular shape around the lantern. Shovels, they were heavy. Why would they want to take snow away? There's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood had sprayed? In other words, killer was to hide the bloody snow. There's no explanation. Perhaps. However, if the killer just wanted to hide the snow, why'd he get rid of so much of it? That's true. Could have just scooped up the snow that was stained with blood. Looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so, but why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? Must have been something the killer desperately wanted to hide.
The truth is...
Oh,
The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something.
you did?
Yes, I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence from me. For my sake.
Right, exactly. They wanted to make sure Maya didn't get blamed.
What? Hiding it for you?
Yep,
Everyone,
it was Godot.
Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night.
It was Godot. I have proof.
You? How's that?
Because. So Godot would have seen Dahlia and killed her to protect Maya as well as get revenge. Yes. Okay. Then throws the body over the other side.
Uh-huh.
And then Iris takes the body and does her tampering with it. Godot then wants to make sure Maya doesn't get blamed for it. So he cleans up all the snow. Yes? He cleans up all the snow to make sure that there's no blood anywhere. He can't see where the blood is because it's red. And he can't see red. So he cleans up all the blood around there. But he didn't see the red on the torch. Anyone else that was trying to hide the murder to make sure Maya didn't get blamed would have wiped her name off of the torch. Because that's super obvious evidence. Unless they couldn't see the color red.
Unlike a bowl.
Right? Hey, Sasora!
Hey!
Anyway, sorry.
I read
Okay.
it. It's Sister Bikini had come back. Looked at the garden.
She may have thought that you had done it.
No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened.
And that's why he cleaned so much of it, too.
Yeah,
Because he's like, yeah, I know the blood splattered, but...
Because he didn't know where the heck it was.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure of it.
Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. I think it was for my sake.
Sorry. I forgot that you hadn't actually read that. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened.
I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up for what had happened.
They did it for your sake?
Well, if the body and the blood hadn't been removed, I would have immediately been prime suspect, right?
Yes, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, and if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems, too. If her real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. Master of Karain killed by own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it.
But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you?
I don't know what to present. Alright.
The body of Lee Stonen was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspected was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd.
Oh? And what would that be?
You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. Oh, wait, that's right. You're colorblind. You can't. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. I'm getting ready for him to spit. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya.
Ah,
If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern?
Ah, you're right.
I know that's my name.
Order, order, order! But, Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene?
Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow, then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior?
Yes, I do, actually.
Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow, then leave the bloody writing on the lantern?
Because he couldn't see it.
I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's the fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it.
Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern?
The killer wrote it to pin the crime on Maya, or the killer didn't notice it?
He didn't notice it. He couldn't even see it.
Prosecutor Goodell, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought.
The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it.
But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way a normal person would miss something as glaring as that.
You're right. There is no way any normal person would.
What? What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether.
And who would that be? Who is the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing?
The one person I know who can't even see the color red.
Mr. Goodell, this is what you said yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. You can't see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot?
Yes.
This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented.
This lantern? There's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle.
Oh!
And he did that writing for as well.
Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations.
This is the apron the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time, and somehow spilled coffee on.
And the red.
There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain.
Yeah, he was admitting it right from the start. He can't see red.
Yeah, you could see the coffee on the white apron. But you couldn't see the ketchup, because it was red.
Ha! It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red lighting on the lantern? Hey, Gramps. Didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea.
I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot was the murderer. But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You were the murderer of Miss Elise Donim, also known as Miss Misty Fey.
It's hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you. Yeah. Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there.
I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red.
This is rich. Do go on, Wright.
The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow.
The snow? How so?
Oh, yeah. Forgot that was sitting there. Miss Mystic Misty Fey.
Say that 5 times fast.
That. Miss Mystic Misty Fey, Miss Mystic Misty Fey, Miss Mystic Misty Fey, Miss Mystic Misty Fey, Miss Mystic Misty Fey. Ha ha! Thank you so much.
Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If you want to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area? Yes, why didn't he take just that area? Oh, could it be?
He didn't know where it was.
Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark?
Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine.
It seems that once again, this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot?
This is the second time that we've inflamed the prosecutor.
Right?
So
But this
wait,
time it was possibly in defense, but...
so wait, just a minute. Wait just a minute.
Maya!
What is it, witness?
The Mr. Doe isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after murder took place. He didn't show up until after the old fridge got fixed up.
Objection!
Maya. You can't testify to something like that.
But what do you mean? What was it?
He cut her off.
After the murder happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't... I'm afraid I don't follow. Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, that's right.
So please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me.
Maya. Do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her.
Yeah, nicely done, Wright.
We have
Very
to do
well.
your own thing.
Let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the Inner Temple after the murder.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearly was there at the inner temple too.
After the incident.
Pearly was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around, but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the break was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the Iron Temple for the first time. He saw Pearly first, and he cheered her right up.
Who is this Pearly?
That's my little cousin, Pearl Fay.
So when did you hear about this?
That was just a while ago, when I was in the medical office.
I'm terribly sorry. But what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony.
That's hearsay.
So what? Come on. Pearly would never tell a lie. She's way more honest. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be.
Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath.
Ha! The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness. Mr. Godot, let's just move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections. This is highly unusual, but... Well, Mr. Wright?
Let's get this cross-examination started. After the incident. So where did you think Pearl slept that night?
In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte training.
But even so, why did she go to the inner temple in the first place?
It seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya.
She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense.
So close yet so far. Yeah, I'm kind of starting to worry. Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the inner temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise Donan. She searched the entire inner temple side, end to end.
Well, you see, Carly gets pretty scared when she's alone. And there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times.
The inner temple side has two structures, the training hall and a spare prep room.
And there's also a storage shack, I think. That's about it.
There was a storage shack too? Pearls was looking for other people, right? Would she have really examined a storage shack all that carefully?
So if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate.
So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack.
Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge.
What do you mean?
I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge.
Oh, well, Carly said she was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night that she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times.
Poor little girl. All alone like that.
Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the Sacred Cavern, Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling with the trick lock. She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls.
What happened after the bridge was finally fixed?
So it was your first time on the inner temple side, Mr. Goodell?
That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question? Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness. That's one of my rules.
What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor.
Touche, Mr. Wright.
Yeah.
Oh well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot?
Hot nights.
And even hotter coffee. That's what I always say.
Are you okay?
Yep.
If it hadn't been for this case, I never would have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains? I think I'll pass.
So he had never visited Hazakura Temple or the inner temple, huh?
Ha! You want to say something, Trey?
In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. While I cross-examine Maya, that is.
Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over the inner temple side, right?
Yes, and Mr. Goodell.
He cheered her up.
That's what Carly said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking out for my cousin, Mr. Goodell.
And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. Ha! Cut it out. You're making me blush. Not that I can tell, because it's red.
This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves, in more ways than one.
The truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-tooth combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way. Godot style. I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way. Judge style.
Maybe we should ask some questions, Phoenix style. Cheering Pearls up or Godot's investigation?
Tell us the investigation. Well,
You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything?
It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Wright. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles.
The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall.
Beauty?
Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Western tastes? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy?
So from there you headed for the prep room.
Wait a sec. What did Godot say just now? I caught it, did you?
No, what did you say?
He said he didn't find anything except for the beauty in the training hall. Misty Faye. The banner. I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Donin. I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to press on, but I noticed a contradiction, did you? So, he said he did an investigation. What did he find?
He found Pearl.
He found Pearl, okay.
And something about the beauty of the training hall?
Yeah, he found the Misty Faye. He found the picture of Misty Faye. Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place.
So why do you say that?
Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall.
Hanging scroll?
But Mr. Godot was right. The scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this.
What's that wonderfully delicious smell?
The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy.
Gravy? But why gravy, Nick?
Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll up until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye.
So wait a minute, Nick. Why are you so...
Yes?
So take another look at the hanging scroll. Look, at the top. There's a crest on there.
Ah, that. It's the mark of the master, correct?
Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark...
And you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Faye on there.
True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Oh.
Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple, long before the crime took place.
Can I ask you just one little thing, Wright?
What is it?
This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed.
That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak into the crime scene.
Of course Mr. Godot knew about the plan.
Huh?
What did you say? Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan?
It is. We have a letter.
We have a letter that was opened once before Pearl opened it. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future, and these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed.
Unsealed?
Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple.
And you still insist this crafty killer is me?
You bet I do.
But you just said that the instructions were hidden.
That's right. Mr. Gado couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden.
If we really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out.
Yes, and when was that?
During a visit.
A visit?
Morgan Fay told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden.
Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center?
Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like a prosecutor. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot.
Take that. Take that, Gado.
Order! 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 Mr. Godot, you're under fire again.
This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder.
Humans are afraid of the dark. And yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee.
Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean?
It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the Inner Temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness.
That's right.
I suppose you're now going to ask me why you did that?
If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this?
Called it.
This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. I am what you see. I'm certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress.
No, you're not.
Hmm.
But you are those super types, so they couldn't.
The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural.
However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs.
I knew it. I figured it out. How did you get
Maya.
myself out.
I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh?
Okay, Wright. I'm all ears. Let's hear it.
It's very simple. First, I save.
Then I answer.
Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you.
What's this?
There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. I wondered why she was always there in the profiles. Every single case. It was for this.
Yeah.
There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she's Mia Fey's only sister.
Mia Fey.
You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney.
Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney?
With your honest, piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right?
The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando. That name rings a bell.
It should, Your Honor. All this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court. The tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. Oh yeah, speaking of heartless. Sora pointed out, the Keyblade wouldn't be an autopsy report or anything.
Oh, for Phoenix?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It'd be a gavel.
No, that'd be for the judge.
But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked.
It's my fault. It's not my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself.
Mia, you can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. That pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Me and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. Oh, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courtroom. The courthouse. You were poisoned.
He was the one that was poisoned.
Even I didn't see it coming.
They said that there was a defense attorney that was poisoned.
Yeah, they even said his name was Diego Armando.
Did it?
Yeah. But it was the first case, so we totally forgot.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee. Some newspapers at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press.
But you weren't dead at all.
No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma.
Okay. So he never died.
This guy's a fighter then.
Right? I see.
My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system, especially my ocular nerves. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused.
That's why his hair's white.
Aha! Well, his beard didn't. His beard's still black.
It's terrible.
Sora says, told you.
Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew.
He's been asleep for 5 years?
Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. Most people in their right mind, after drinking poison coffee and going into a coma for 5 years, would never touch coffee again. But
I'm different.
5 years? You were asleep for 5 years? And the worst possible news was waiting for me.
Mia was killed.
Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered, and the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed, the woman who would spike my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne.
I'm waiting for him to shatter his cup again.
Right?
Ha! Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
That's so sad.
Hashtag not like the other girls. For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor. Revenge and orange juice.
If I may ask, what were your two reasons to live?
The first was you, Wright.
Huh? Me?
If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died, much less the way she did. You were the only one who was there to protect her. You let her die. It was all your fault.
It wasn't like that.
I wanted to see for myself what kind of a man you really were. So that's why you became a prosecutor. My other reason for living. She goes by the name of Maya Fey.
You mean me?
You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Crane Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. In the after credits of that trial, she even said, "I will get my revenge. You will be in your rightful place, my little pearl." Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. In fact, I was standing right there in the background. This whole game, I was the guard in the back. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her.
That's how you overheard Pearls' visit with Morgan at the detention center.
I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it.
That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out.
Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Accomplices? Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan, in case we couldn't control Pearl Fey.
But how could you contact my mother?
That's why she said, "I came here for a reason." Godot asked her to come.
She has been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
What? What do you mean, officially?
You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government.
Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Grain had great authority.
Even without her official position, Misty Fey still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
So my mother would cooperate with you?
Don't ever forget, no matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you.
She was always...
That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you, including give her life. It's gonna be a little bit sad to not be able to do this soul sipping thing anymore. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff. Her staff? The one with the sword in it? The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fey, if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price.
Mother.
That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan.
You mean Pearls, don't you?
We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne.
Well, Pearl, it's only that it is. Well, if you like, you can come to my way. she offered? To
She
keep
was-
Pearl distracted.
Yes, to keep Pearl distracted and away.
We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan.
The ultimate prize, ultimate punishment, ultimate death.
But she never showed up.
She was worried and followed me to the inner temple.
I'm sorry, don't know what came over me. Silly Sora.
That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Misty Faye had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body. What? What do you mean?
If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself.
As Master of Parade, Misty Faye's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Faye wouldn't be able to.
Ah!
What? Is this true? My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Faye. That's why I hid myself in the inner temple. Just in case you need to be safe from Dahlia Hawthorne.
Joe.
Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, Trite.
Huh?
There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself.
But we only have 20 minutes.
The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright.
On the bright
Who
side,
killed the victim?
On the bright side, I don't have to go anywhere today.
Oh, you don't?
I still have OT, but I don't have to go anywhere.
Oh.
There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Faye, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot. Well, Trite, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own.
No, Nick, please don't.
Maya.
But I heard the whole thing. From my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. They can't do it. They can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia and me too.
Maya, I know that.
Nick,
But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify. Testify.
Miss Faye, your testimony, please.
This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
All right, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder?
Then don't forget, Maya, we're not doing this to mean to you. We're just doing because it's our job.
Right?
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I asked for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though. She was struck. She struck back the enemy. Wow, I can't talk.
She struck back the anime.
She struck back at the enemy behind her. Wow. Suddenly, I can't talk.
No, you had it.
Good. I almost lost it though.
Mom's been doing the whole same thing.
Really?
Yep. She was misreading and reading words out of order and...
Not being able to pronounce words?
Yep.
Suddenly, the red lights went out, and the whole area was dark. Just at the moment, it was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness.
Thought you didn't see your attacker.
These red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them.
I'm sorry. I thought I saw them. Then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Ha! Things break, Wright. Even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Fey? It looks like you still can't prove it.
Mai's telling the truth this time, I know it. The rest is up to me.
Well then, Mr. Wright. Proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness.
The time of the murder. Lights shining in the dark. I don't think you can make a mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can tell you for sure they were from Mr. Goodell's mask. Either I can't tell you.
I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but... But just after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help. Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's why I was thinking at the same time. But I can't remember after all. There was a person I couldn't identify in front of me.
Mai's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly.
Alright then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights?
That blood. Was it Dolly Hawthorne's blood?
I think so. Probably. Just at that moment. I heard a soft scream. And then seemed to be close. That seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice.
So that was when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with a murder weapon. Is that right?
Without a doubt, Mai was in the middle of a really dangerous situation.
Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that?
Struck back. How do you know that?
Well, you're right. I didn't see exactly. But I could tell by the sounds of their breathing and movement. And also the smell of blood.
You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should ever have to in one life. So then, what did you do at that point?
I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do.
Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier?
Yes, I think so. But
They went out.
yes, suddenly I couldn't see them at all.
What could it mean?
That the red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight.
Maybe the mask was damaged.
Or maybe it was knocked off.
Or maybe the batteries ran out. Right? Or maybe those little red pinhead-looking lights just stopped working.
What could have really happened then? What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out?
Yes, that's right.
The scream that you heard then, was it Dolly Hawthorne? No.
I don't think so. You guys heard that, right? See, you guys heard that, right? Something. Did you hear that?
What?
The giant truck going by outside?
Nope. Didn't hear it.
Liar. I know you have one deaf ear, but you're not that bad.
I can't hear certain tones.
You can hear my sneezes, which are barely noticeable.
Yeah, it's not... I can't hear certain tones. Plus, I'm sitting right next to you. I'm not sitting next to a truck.
Yeah, but that's still pretty loud. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice.
What? What? So then, that scream came from the killer?
That's gotta be it.
I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it.
And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh?
After that, the killer stole the blade and the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess.
Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me.
Sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder.
Is there...
What are you doing?
trying to get back on my pillow?
To do that.
Can you fix my glasses?
I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction.
That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct.
Remember the testimony she just gave? Before the killer let out a scream, Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim.
Is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck on her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff.
The dagger. It was Godot's blood.
If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite.
Oh, you're right. There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here.
If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer?
The dagger. I literally just said that, Godot.
I wasn't listening.
Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree.
Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me.
Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well.
Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. I'm much tougher than that. The killer's much tougher than that. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim.
Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body.
So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer?
Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it will prove that it's your blood.
Nice theory, Wright.
Show me your right shoulder.
Order in the court.
Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of its scientific tests.
Huh. Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that?
What?
Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Yes, what does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it.
It can't be.
In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trite. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance.
What?
In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. Alright then, witness, continue your testimony.
So wait a minute.
What's the problem?
I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in this explanation.
Maya?
This dagger. You said it wounded the killer.
That's right.
But, if Mr. Goodell has really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right?
Yeah, because he clearly wouldn't change clothes.
Can't change clothes, Maya.
I know where the wound is.
Where?
Think about everything that we've heard in the testimony. Maya, maybe he's just changed his clothes? That would solve the contradiction pretty easily.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder. Everyone that was on the Inner Temple side got trapped there.
Ah, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed, and the police headed for the Inner Temple...
There's a hair in my eye. Mr. Goodell was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes.
Ah!
Keep it
Did you say but?
there.
I just missed what.
Order! Order on the court. What the witness says is true.
Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him.
But... no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes?
Yeah. Did the judge take smart pills during the last recess? Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That's how Maya knew he was a man. That way he wouldn't get any blood on them.
That's impossible, Wright. You know how cold it gets up there late at night.
Yeah.
After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid.
Ah!
Huh. So that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this.
Ugh.
Right now, if Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already.
If Mia Fey were here.
So come on, Trite. Can you do it or not? How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer, but can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence?
The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The question is how I prove it. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you want it.
Huh. That's good. A fighter till the bitter end, Trite. Bitter like coffee, get it? Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the unlimited penalty?
Oh! Look at the pips.
Well, that's terrifying.
The music! Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need.
Give me a break. You got nothing, Trite.
So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle.
Alright then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got.
There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger.
But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he'd been cut by a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing.
There's one place the killer could have hidden his wound.
What did you say?
Hidden?
This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there was no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound.
It's the end of the line. The final stop, Wright. Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound?
Behind your pothole. I don't know.
Huh. I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Wright? Oh! Did you see that?
No.
Mia appeared for a split second there.
Go back, go back. I need to... Let me see that.
Come on, full screen.
Where did he pop up?
Next to Phoenix.
Oh my god, you're right.
That's why he's like, I'm rocking out, says Sora.
What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him?
Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. Oh, can you see her now? They're gonna point together. It's beneath your mask. During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. I thought it was because it was like attached to him, so when it got knocked off, it like hurt him.
Oh.
But that makes more sense. Mr. Goodell, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved.
I'm gonna see what you look
Oh! It just blew up. Ah! His mask just like short-circuited.
I don't know what that was. What the hell? Who's it? What?
Just now, I saw her spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought.
Mr. Goodell.
But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was myself. Was me.
Oh, and his music.
You yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name, and just literally made my name the last syllable of my name. Diego Armando Godot. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit.
His music! But, you saved Maya.
Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway.
What do you mean?
Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away.
Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick?
But I didn't do it.
Yeah, if he really wanted to save Maya, he knew about the plan. He should have gone to Phoenix and said, listen, they're gonna try and kill Maya.
Maya's in trouble.
Do not let her go to Hazakura Temple. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason?
Godot, I
missed.
No. Why?
Oh, I missed. I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
Huh?
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia, nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me.
Please don't, man.
You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya.
Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure. What do you mean by that? That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye?
He was in it for revenge. And at that moment, he snapped and he didn't care if he killed Misty or Pearl.
There's still hair on my face.
Yeah, that's because of your hearing aid.
Yeah, you just pull it down. So just pull it down. There you go.
Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people.
Take that!
In that one moment, I understood everything.
Mr. Goodell.
I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Mr. Armando? I believe in you. I know you were just trying to save me.
Oh.
Thanks.
Your wound. It's bleeding.
Huh. Did you forget already? No, I'm just crying. In my world, the color red doesn't exist.
Oh, he's gonna be a badass till the end.
These must be my tears. Tears? Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando.
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
And he cried because it's all over.
When are you going to take it off?
I don't know if you ever will.
This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant,
Yes, Your Honor?
although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body in the crime scene is a serious offense in itself.
I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. A little too carefully.
So she wasn't helping her sister.
She was just trying to help him. I knew the risk. I knew the risk, and I willingly cooperated anyway.
I mean, after they left, she probably didn't like her mom much. So when Godot went up to her and went, "Listen, your cousin's gonna be killed," she's like, "I'll help you."
Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, Is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, there is one thing. Oh, come on. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. Okay. I want to apologize to you
Apologize to me? For what?
for the case 5 years ago, of course. Everything.
I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover?
Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me.
It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Huh? What do you mean?
You and my sister. You only met twice.
Huh? We only met twice? We're trying.
The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine.
Oh, I get it. I get what she means.
And Doug Swallow was killed.
No way. It can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were...
For those 8 months. The woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister.
Huh? It wasn't Dahlia.
It was her.
No.
What?
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah.
I thought she was saying you only saw who my sister really is twice.
I hope one day you can forgive me, Feeny.
You mean...
That's right. I lied to you for 8 months.
She probably came home that night and went, I don't want to deal with that stupid Phoenix Wright guy. And Iris was like, I'll do it.
But why? Why would you do such a thing?
Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance, she couldn't move around free.
So that's why you...
My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
Prepared for the worst?
She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice.
You mean she was ready to kill me? You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you?
She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance.
And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place.
But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed, and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened.
Wrap it up, Iris. That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you.
I think she must have noticed
Noticed what?
my feelings for you.
She realized that Iris was actually falling for Phoenix.
If I found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her.
Iris.
After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed.
That's why Phoenix was so sure that Dahlia wouldn't do that.
Dahlia with her sister wouldn't.
Yes, Dahlia would, but Iris wouldn't. And he's like, I know my girlfriend. I have something to say to you, too.
Yes?
You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you.
That happened. Thank you.
How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you, though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Don't you think so? Phoenix Wright.
He called us by our name!
He actually did say
Oh.
twice.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murderer of the victim, at least Dona. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case.
I understand, Your Honor.
And gone is fire, Phoenix.
Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant
Not guilty.
Court is now adjourned.
Alright, now we just got the wrap up. February 10th, 4:51 p.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby number 1. So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended. Was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand.
Of course justice was served.
Mia!
I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant.
But I couldn't save Mr. Armando. The man who cared so deeply for you.
You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible.
I'm trying, Sora. Meaning, with that verdict? Sora's like, hurry!
I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me.
Time for me to go away. Mia!
You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you.
Mia.
I'm sure we'll meet again. Someday.
I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer.
Nick,
Maya.
I guess it's like my sis said. Just like my sis said.
Mia? What did she say?
That night, when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry. Phoenix will save everyone in the end.
But
Come on, cut it out with a gloomy face. Casey, me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything that you've done for us, Nick.
Maya, how? How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Ouch!
And
Franziska!
we're almost done.
We're trying, it just won't end.
It needs to end.
Why'd you pull the wheelchair out?
Because she's going in her chair to do therapy.
Oh, okay.
And I need to change her.
If Dad would stop talking. Still as soft as always. Still as softy as always, for Phoenix Day.
Excellent work, Wright.
Mr. Edward? When did you get back?
Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Franziska have actually been helping me.
Helping you?
If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Wow. But where are you, Nick? In the hospital. I already fell into a river and caught a nap because it forced him to sleep all day.
Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever, with Iris's hood pulled over his head.
Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edward. And you too, Francisca.
I don't suppose... Oh. There's room for me in this group hug, is there?
Oh, Larry.
What's with the, longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone. Not even once.
So that's not true, right, Nick?
What? You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good. No. Oh yeah. Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me? Why are you making that face? Huh, Edgy? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance. Do you really mean it? What about you, Francie? Did I draw you well, too? Yeah!
My beauty can't possibly
I
capture
don't
by
care if it's not done. She's gonna be waiting, and she's getting paid to give cat therapy.
I know, but...
Just stop it.
Okay, I guess we're stopping right here, Kat.
No!
Stopping right there.
We're stopping right here.
Yes, you are.
Can we finish this a little later today, maybe?
Sure.
If you can go back to it, fine. If you can't, then you gotta start earlier or something.
Okay, a little bit later, guys. In about, how long does therapy go on? I'm asking you, Dad?
Therapy is 4:30 to 6.
Okay. Yeah. So, a couple hours. It's show that text it. So yeah, we'll be back in just a minute, so stay where you are, guys.